All right, Nick. Got a chance, man. Listen, folks. Listen, chat. We got a chance, all right? We got a puncher's chance. That's what we got. And we can sit here and we can all feel sorry for ourselves, but just like I tell the little 10, 11, and 12-year-old little leaguers that I have, no one cares. No one cares. You stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to find a way to win a baseball game. It's not been the prettiest game. We had one great inning, and we scored one run, which I don't want to lead. I don't want to bury the lead, as they say. I don't really know what the I don't want to spend all of our time right at the beginning of the show talking about the most important half inning in Reds baseball the last 2 weeks that just didn't go their way, but I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. But we still got a half inning left, Nick. That was the message if it got lost.
All right. Let's see. I'll put it back on Bally. I had it on FS1 for a couple innings.
I got it on FS1 myself, personally.
Oh, you have it on FS1? All right, we'll sync on that.
Yeah, I do.
I do enjoy Tom Verducci. So it's kind of I'll hear a little bit of his perspective.
Just the graphic package, just personally for me. I much rather see the graphic package from FS1. Swing and a miss.
I'm at 1-1.
Okay. How are you always ahead of me? Yeah, direct
pay
TV.
$1 million.
Right. All right. 0-1. He comes set. Delivers. Ball high.
All right. So you're gonna have a pitch clock, but it's not gonna show up till 5. And I paused it at like 4. So
hey, I'm watching.
Right on it.
I'm watching. He comes set. It's 5, 4, 3.
All right.
Pitch.
We're right on. Swing and a foul. Yep. All right, there we go.
All right, guys. I don't know what we got to do as a fan base to just get nice things, but I'd like to have it at some point.
All right.
I would do anything for Fraley to get on and Mike Ford to hit ball in Ohio River. I would do anything. Well, almost anything. I don't want people to get it twisted.
One more.
Come on. Hit him square in the back.
A ball gets him on base, brother.
I don't care. I want it to be where he has no chance to swing.
We don't need any more hit batters.
Okay, whatever. No chance to swing. I want this to be such a ball of all balls. Way to battle. These are at bats, guys. Okay, These are at bats. At least we can not that we want to get participation trophy awards every night, but I've been missing at least this. You would have called that a strike.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good pitch to spoil.
All right, come on. Seeing him, baby. Seeing him. Boy, that how did you anybody see that ball boy right there? He's like 6'7". He weighs 105 pounds. That's what I'm talking about, Nick.
We got life.
Come on. All in Christ with a $5 super says, here we go. Thank you, All in Christ. Boy, do we need him right now. We need him on our side. Oh, yeah. Nothing strikes the fear in a pitching coach more than Mike Ford, boys. And girls and ladies. Children of all ages. This is a kid's show. Oh, please, Michael. Please.
Supposed to just be fishing today.
Michael Harrison Ford. Boy, I'll tell you what, that sounds American if I've ever heard it. Come on. Michael Harrison Ford. I'll believe in a baseball god if he hits this thing out of the stadium. God, is he stepping out of the batter's box?
Yeah, that's his stance.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, good. Kiko wants no part.
Oh, man. He's a big old fella. Please.
Save the storybook for tomorrow.
Yeah. That hurt. That's okay. We got Candy. At some point, he's got to turn it around.
And Friedl's after him, so
Go. Come on.
kind of a weird lineup just because of a lefty, so. To be honest, I'm not going to say it.
Come on, Candy.
All can be forgotten.
Almost. I mean, being honest, yeah.
He hits one out.
Yeah.
His hands are washed clean.
Clean's a little much for me, buddy, but I would say they're pretty clean, yeah. They're pretty clean. They'd get by with shaking hands.
Maybe just some fingernail dirt.
Yeah. Get down. Oh!
Go to. Oh, no.
God, dude. I want to see if that dude, like, was this an accident? Was this an accident? Oh, Candy's he wants to be a leader. He's just got to play better.
He hit that ball hard.
Oh, was it lucky or was that attempted?
That he stopped it.
Yeah, I'd like to see if he chested up on it.
He got caught in between, and then I think he said,
chested up on it. Yeah, that's fine. Good play if he chested up, but I'm gonna be pissed if he swung it if it just accidentally hit him.
All right, TJ. Good take. That's a good take.
Will Benson up next. Tell you what, who could wash their hands clean is that kid. Got to be a good one to hit. Got to be good one to hit. I'm taking. I know that. I am.
I don't know.
I'm taking, man. You get.
It's a small ballpark.
I understand, but. I don't think
one swing.
Yeah, but. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been interesting to see if it was right down the middle.
Yeah. That you want to take that pitch.
Yeah. TJ. Find a gap. Come on, get down the line.
Did Candy get to third?
He had to have gotten to third. That ball was
He did.
okay. I was gonna say, what's Friedl doing? Did he get caught in quicksand out there? He almost got
He was trying to see if there was a throw and take second, and he's the winning run. I mean,
no, I know. That's exactly what he did, but he scared me there for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, it's good to have you back, TJ.
Yeah, and listen, we can sit here and act like one player down the lineup isn't a huge deal, but it matters right there. Instead of Santiago Espinal hitting and TJ Friedl's up.
I mean, this inning's it's the Mike Ford effect. I mean, let's call it what it is.
It's true. It is.
I mean,
imagine if Mike Ford would have gotten a hit. We'd have been bases of juice right now.
I will. Oh, they're bringing in a lefty. Damn it.
They're gonna. We gotta have.
We have Connor Capel on the bench. That's it. Damn it! I thought they were gonna ride with Ginkle.
We forced him out. They forced us in.
Yeah.
Hold on.
There's no way.
Yeah, they went to
He
commercial.
should be fired on the spot if he didn't bring in his lefty.
John's asking why not send him. John, can you please elaborate on that? I don't know what you mean by that. You're not talking about Candelario, right? We're not talking about that. You're asking about why Friedl didn't go. Gotta elaborate. Gotta elab.
Man, it'd just be nice if Benson could just work a walk here.
We need it, man. We just need it. I don't know how to say it. We need it. We must win games on May 8th. You sound like an idiot. You do. And I mean, I've been called worse, but gosh, it feels like we need this just to get our vibes back. Let's get the clubhouse popping again. Let's get some music in there. Start dancing. Let's have some fun, Nick. Can't be going back in there feeling sorry for ourselves again. Finn Trojan Sports says at least we are back competitive. We have competitive at bats today. We did. We really have. I'm not. This isn't a moral victory. We're not doing moral victories right now, but we have had much better at bats. It just looks like they have an approach today. It feels a lot better, and like that. Boy, does that get more magnified that inning.
Yeah, I mean they had 9 base runners off Jordan Montgomery.
Right. I mean they just.
I mean,
I don't want to say squandered chances. I think. I mean, I'm gonna use the word luck, and I'm gonna use the word before it, and that's what I would call it. But,
yeah.
All right, let's get this guy. Come on. Boy, stealing TJ Friedl is so risky, though. I don't think you can do it.
I don't think they're going to throw.
Well, that's more or less like I would throw.
They didn't earlier with Steer.
Well, that's because
Ellie
was at third. That was because Ellie was at third. No offense to Candelario, but that's the difference between a Ferrari and a Pinto.
I would take my chances with Benson at the plate. I mean, if this is Benson as a right-handed pitcher, I mean, I would take my chances.
Well, it doesn't automatically do anything for you either. A line drive is also bad. I understand the other part. That's off your foot, dude. Off his foot. Wish it wasn't.
Yeah, would have taken that. Candy's like, I ran hard.
Candy said, "Can you look at it?" It hit his foot, man. It hit his knee. You could just tell by Will's reaction. I think if Will would have played it off, I don't know if they would have called it. It was off. They would have overturned it anyway. All right, mute point. Let's go. Find a way. Find a way. Come on. Find a way. You too. Action pitch. Gotta have an action. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be happy. Not happy. I would love the result to be a strike if we're gonna swing. I really don't want to chase here. No.
Man.
All right, Johnny, come on. I think he went too, by the way. But we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. I don't think you steal John right now because you don't want to you want to give yourself a chance to tie the game. You can try to steal if you want to try to make it, if you're willing to risk it, but it's a lefty pitcher too. That's the other thing. You don't want to get picked off. I'm assuming they're holding him on. I'd like another top angled shot so I can see that. They have to be holding him on. But yeah, you just don't want to get picked off more than anything. You take off, he throws over, game's over. That would be just devastating. There we go. All right, there you go, John. Hope you and everyone else that wanted that. I don't know why they did that though. I'll be honest. That's stupid on their part. I would be pissed if I was a Diamondback fan right now. You have a right-handed hitter up and left, and it's not like you got to guard the line on the first base line. Indians just get fisted right now. You got to get the barrel to that. I don't like those swings so far, if we're being honest. Just stay in the zone. Nick, let's swing at a strike. Really hard. All right, guys, listen. We're gonna do a show here, okay? We're gonna do a show, and I'm not gonna make you wait that long. Okay, we're not gonna wait that long, but we got to do it. All right, Nick, we got a show to do. All right, Nick. I can't believe it. Another losing edition of Chatterbox Reds. Reds fall 4-3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. A team that I don't really think's that good right now either, if we're being honest. I guess we'll start the show off. I don't really need to ask how you're feeling. I don't think I need to ask any Reds fan how they're feeling right now. We all feel relatively the same. I won't ask you that. I'll just ask you if there's anything that you'd like to add here before we do the box score recap and get into probably the nuts and bolts of the things that we probably want to discuss. That was the Cincinnati Reds on May the 8th of 2024.
Not a whole lot. I mean, as as fun as the shows were last year when we had the 12-game win streak,
Yeah.
it's the exact opposite right now. Not a whole lot of fun doing these every night, if I'm being honest. But we'll power through because,
Right.
you can't have the good times unless you go through the bad times.
Boy, I'll tell you what, the Reds fans, we figured out the bad. I know that. We figured out the bad. I hope at some point we get to reap just as many good times as we have bad.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Before we go any farther, let's just run through whatever you may have so far in the box score recap. I know it kind of got dicey there towards the end. Maybe you won't be able to eloquently state what happened there in the ninth inning because it all happened so fast. But nonetheless, take it away, Nick.
All right, bottom of the second, Tyler Stevenson doubled. He ended up on third on an error by left fielder Gurriel. Then after a hard line out by Espinal, ball that bounced off Suarez's glove and somehow went to Newman and somehow got him out, Stuart Fairchild singled home Ty Steve. Fairchild was out at second on a pretty great throw from Gurriel, but the Reds took the lead for the first time in 44 innings. Reds would, however, end up stranding 2 runners when Luke Mailey was robbed of a hit on another nice play, again by Gurriel, who was all over in that inning. Reds in the bottom of the second, 4 hits, just 1 run to show for it. In the top of the third, Graham Ashcraft gave up a single and then a double to the first 2 batters, and the lead was very quickly erased. Ashcraft would end up walking in another run, making it 2-1 Diamondbacks. But in the bottom of the fourth, Tyler Stevenson singled again, and then with 2 outs, Jeimer Candelario doubled him home, double off the wall, tying the game at 2. Ashcraft would work around base runners in the 4th and 5th, but in the 6th, he gave up back-to-back singles to start the inning, and he left 2 runners on base when David Bell went to Fernando Cruz. Cruz would end up giving up a weak single, but then he was absolutely electric after that. He would retire the next 5 batters, including striking out the side in the 7th. In the top of the 8th, the Diamondbacks got an insurance run, and it ended up being pretty big. Lucas Sims gave up a home run to our old friend, Eugenio Suarez, making it 4-2 Diamondbacks. And then in the bottom of the 9th, the Reds had a rally. They started out Jake Fraley, a 10-pitch walk to lead off the inning. Mike Ford in his Reds debut, a lazy flyout. Jeimer Candelario then singled, putting runners on the corner. Candelario's 3rd hit of the day. TJ Friedl, he singled. I believe that was his first hit back. No, second hit back to make it a 4-3 game. Diamondbacks went to their lefty to match David Bell's move, bringing in Will Benson. Will Benson striked out on a check swing. And then Jonathan India, a 306-foot flyout to end the game. Reds fall 4-3. Reds have now lost 7 in a row. And Trace, I've made an executive decision here. DSC deserves sponsorship.
I agree.
So
I agree.
What?
DSC
let's give the kids.
The kids, they deserve some credit too from time to time, and that's where we got to go on nights like tonight because DSC, they are good people, and we do appreciate them for supporting us. And the deep drive of the day is Tyler Callahan. Hit his 4th home run of the season for the Chattanooga Lookouts. So look out, Chattanooga. Choo-choo! DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And as I just said, thank you to our friends at Deep South Commodities. All right. Let's do this. You can't lose this game. I don't know. The baseball gods can't let us lose this game. David Bell, he gets way too much hate more times than not. And that's what happens when you're the manager, to be honest. I mean, you're going to get no praise, all the hate. You don't win games, you lose them. And unfortunately, this is a game in which it would have been nice. And I don't know what availability people have, but just seems as if there's just not enough good players on this team right now because I don't Will Benson going lefty on lefty there at the end of the game. I don't know, Nick. And I'm not. I guess I can't blame him because The other options have never proven themselves either, you know? So it's not like there's this person on the bench that you'd think that you would 100% trust to get the job done. Will Benson, lefty on lefty, just got to put the ball in play, not capable of putting the ball in play. And once again, Nick, we'll focus on the 9th inning, I'm sure, but there's another inning that we're going to talk about that was the most important inning of the baseball game, and it just went the most unluckiest way you could possibly go for the Reds, that is. But it just seems like, again, we can't stockpile the right at-bats up at the right time. We strike out with guys on third base with less than 2 outs in the 9th or 8th inning when we need to get that run in, and then the next guy comes up and inevitably they fly out to right field that would have scored the guy from third base. Like if you flip-flop, right, if you flip-flop India with Will Benson, which I know you can't do, but if you did that, it's a different game. It just seems like this team. One, I'll say this. I don't think this team's very good. 2, I don't think this team's that bad. And lastly, I'll say it's getting to the point where, like it or not, there's a must-win game is coming within the next 2 days. I'll just say it like that. I mean, maybe that's over the reaction. Maybe you can kill me for it later. I hope everyone makes fun of Trace for saying that on May 8th. You got to have a must-win game. But at some point, losing becomes contagious. And right now, they're sick as a dog. And I don't know. They need to find some way, somehow, to just get out of this rut, to start playing even some semblance of 500 baseball. I don't know how you feel, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, on the 9th inning, I'll give a little bit of criticism. Probably should have pinch hit Benson in Ford's spot. I think he wanted to go to the shiny new toy first because Benson cannot hit left-handed pitching. He cannot. I don't know how many times I have to say it. He's 4 for 31 now this season. He's 10 for 77 in his big league career. He cannot hit left-handed pitching. Mike Ford has had reverse splits throughout his career. Now, will that stay forever? I don't really know. But he's clearly a better hitter against left-handed pitching than Will Benson is. Now, it's maybe a little bit of hindsight because,
of course,
are you anticipating the Diamondbacks closer is going to get out of the game and you get the lefty up? But, you know, clearly if you look back, it would have been much better to put Benson up against the right-handed pitcher and save Ford. So I don't know.
But to be fair to Bell, I'm just saying, of course you want Ford to hit in the spot in which Benson was hitting in because of the situation, but you didn't know that situation existed when you put Mike Ford in the game. Mike Ford came up with an opportunity to tie the game with one swing of the bat. He probably thought to himself, hey, I'm going to give myself a chance right here to do some damage, and maybe if Ford hits a double right there, they tie the game regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be clear. I'm not disagreeing with you. I would just say Ford's at bat and Will Benson's at bat would have produced the exact same result for the Cincinnati Reds, whether you flip-flop them however which way you wish. Okay, it's not like Ford hit a deep fly ball that helped. No, he popped up. He didn't do anything special, and neither did Will Benson. So at some point, like I don't want to jump all over it, but I'm saying at some point, Nick, the players have to execute. They just do. And I'm not trying to give David Bell a pass every single night, but I'm just saying, like, he did his best with what he had. I was just saying, would you have entertained the idea of going to Capel? And I know you can't do that because you had Maley DHing.
I mean, I don't. Connor Capel was first big league first at bat with the Reds against a lefty. He's a left-handed batter too.
Right.
I don't think it really matters. But I'm not good. I don't think we should crush David Bell. I think that's it's a completely hindsight move. But it's probably a good learning experience that you should probably use Will Benson in the one spot where you know he's going to face a right-handed batter and not save him because he might not have a spot where he has to face a right-handed pitcher. Because Will Benson has a chance to get a hit off Ginkel or a walk or whatever. He does not have a chance to get a hit off of a lefty very often. So I would say maybe that's fair. That's just that. That's really in the weeds. I'm just trying to give an example of something I saw and it did that actually did end up really backfiring. I guess going back to the game as a whole, I mean, no one's going to want to hear this, but of the 7-game losing streak, this was the most competitive game for whatever that's worth. I mean, the Reds did get 9 base runners off Jordan Montgomery. They had a pretty good rally in the 9th. all the losses count the same as the 11-1 loss. Like they're all losses, but you hope that there's some carryover effect. But it was definitely a better performance. It wasn't a lifeless performance or whatever adjectives you want to use for some of the other games.
Listen, I don't know if you want to do this now. Do you want to get in the bottom of the second now, or do you want to wait until we get through Ashcraft and Cruz?
We can switch this. It's no big deal.
Okay,
let's switch it.
Let's talk about this because I think this was the game. I know everyone's going to point to the ninth inning. Because when the ninth inning is the most freshest thing in your mind, it was right in front of you to have the ability to tie the game. It was right in front of you to have, again, as we've gone down this path, Nick, this is 2 times in the last week where the Reds were 1 base hit away from winning a game. That's all they were. India hits a ball in the gap right there, or hell, no, you don't need to hit a ball in the gap. He hits the ball up the middle. The Reds win. We're not talking about this. Who was it the other night? I can't even remember anymore who was up the other night. But I know Ellie was up there. He ended up striking out, and I don't remember who made the last out. But my point is, bottom of the second inning was the problem. You get a double from Tyler Stevenson. You have the most fluky, ridiculous thing. Like this is the depths. When we talk about it couldn't get any worse, like it's continuing to get worse. Let me just read this from MLB because this is just downright abuse. Santiago Espinal lines out to third baseman Eugenio Suarez to shortstop Kevin Newman to first baseman Christian Walker. If you would have told me this year that I was going to have to read something about the Cincinnati Reds and the sentence had Santiago Espinal, Eugenio Suarez, and Kevin Newman in it, and all in the same situation, I would have I would have been honest. You'd have had to find another partner. But that's beside the point. Go ahead.
Trace, that ball was hit 100 miles an hour off the bat of Santiago Espinal.
Yeah, it almost took off Eugenio's glove. I legitimately almost took off Eugenio's glove. It literally trickles over to Kevin Newman's little noodle-ass arm, and his little noodle-ass arm barely got it to Walker in time, and that was an out. So let's just paint the picture here. We get a double. We get Tyler Stevenson. Oh, by the way, he advanced to third. Okay, he's at third base. It was a double, but he was at third, to be clear. He doesn't advance to home, so you're like, okay, tough luck. Fairchild then he rips a single down the line, and I'll be honest, they made a good play. I mean, it would be nice if they could just have sucked there. It would have been nice if they just bobbled it a little bit, whatever it may be, or just throw the ball a little offline. But nope, they didn't. They made the perfect play. Why? Because they're playing the Reds. So Stuart Fairchild, then he's out. Then Candelario singles and TJ Friedl singles, and then you have Maley, which again I'm not trying to say that it was the best hit ball in the world, but it was well hit. And Gurriel comes over and he slides and makes a catch in left field, and the Reds get 1 run out of all that. Out of how many good at bats we had? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 good at bats. 6 good at bats in a row, and they got 1 run. You can't make this up, man. You can't make this up. Like, this is like somebody walking up to somebody that's on the streets and just pissing all over their lunch that they finally got. It's like they finally got a nice warm meal somebody dropped off, and someone just dropped the trousers and pissed all over it, because that's what it felt like in the bottom of the second inning. And then from there on, honestly, it was back to the same old Reds to a certain extent. I don't want to go that far, but, couldn't break through. At some point, Nick, it'd be nice to hit a home run with a couple guys on base, but that's here. Yeah.
At some point, it'd be nice to hit a home run.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I'm trying to be greedy. We hit 2 of them last night. There were 2 solo jobs. I don't know. That's my synopsis on the game. If you didn't watch it, if you did watch it, I'm sorry for bringing up bad memories. Did you have a problem with? You didn't have a problem with Avis Fairchild going to second. I mean, I don't know how you could.
This was the same left fielder that just bobbled the ball that let Tyler Stevenson get to third base. He's not a very good defensive outfielder. I would encourage you to watch that highlight because that's also people comment. Watch where Gurriel was when he threw that ball. Like, that ball was slightly offline. No one even remotely thinks about why did Fairchild go for second. It's trying to make a play. I mean, you know.
They made a good play. You know why? Because they're playing the Reds. Like, I don't, you know, like, just let us have something. Like, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. And you know what? Maybe our president will come in July. I don't know. But I'll tell you this. I'm the rich kid that sees all the Christmas presents underneath the tree, and I'm tired of waiting. If I got to watch more of this every single night, and by God, thank the heavens above that they actually look competent at the plate tonight. But that's the most unlucky inning that you could possibly have. You realize Santiago Espinal hit a ball 100 miles an hour, Nick. It ripped off Eugenio Suarez's glove. And literally Kevin Newman, how he's playing shortstop for a Major League Baseball team still is beyond me.
The defending National League champion.
Yeah, well, they're tough down on their luck. I don't know what the hell happened, but by God. You could. By the way, you could have bought, and I almost did just as a bit. You could have bought Kevin Newman's cleats last year for $5 at Reds Fest. That's his value. Signed cleats from Kevin Newman, $5. I said, son, what size do you wear? I might get you for next year. Can't get these prices at the outlet store. Turns out Kevin Newman, the only thing he's worried, the only thing that's big on him is his feet. Now, I don't know about the other part, but I'm just saying his arm's not big, his bat's not big. He doesn't have a very big head. But go ahead.
Well, he's got cement on his feet.
That's
why
true.
The cleats are so big, like you said last.
That's true. Yeah, that's a great point. You're probably gonna have to back into U-Haul to get those cleats out of there. That's why they couldn't get rid of them. They got that quick crete in the bottom of them. I didn't pick them up, to be fair. I don't know, man. I'm just frustrated, guys. The fact that Eugenio Suarez and Kevin Newman are playing on a freaking baseball team together, and I just watch them play well, it's the icing on the cake, as they say. It is what it is, man. I don't know if we suck or what, but I will say this: at least I didn't have to listen to Barry tonight, I'm not trying to take a ricochet shot, but that was actually enjoyable.
Tom Verducci's very good.
So. Anyways, all right, I'm done ranting and raving. For now, at least.
Yeah, I mean, Candelario had 3 hits, so that's definitely a positive. Need a lot more of them. So hopefully that he's turning it around. I mean, he looked much better at the plate. Like, they weren't cheap hits. I thought he had some pretty good at bats. Obviously, Friedl had 2 hits. He also had a bunt single that was a incredible play by Marte. Or it wasn't a bunt single. He tried for a bunt single. Marte made an incredible glove flip that robbed him of a hit.
Yeah, he did. That was a good bunt.
I mean, Friedl could have had 3 hits. So support Tyler Stevenson continues to play well. Other than he did have one unfortunate pop up with a couple runners on base, but I mean he had another good day. He's playing really well. So I mean, there's a couple positives in the lineup. I mean, need some more of them.
Yeah. We need a lot of positives. I'll tell you what, that Celtics fan in the chat, he's triggered me. He tells me to calm down.
I don't even have it open. I didn't open it tonight. I couldn't do it.
What do you want me to calm down about, Celtics fan? The hell you want me to calm down about? Have you watched this team play? I mean, just God's honest truth. Maybe you're too caught up in the NBA playoffs to be watching Major League Baseball. Maybe you just happened to, on an off night, you decided to flip on the old FS1 because you don't have Bally Sports Ohio. So shout out to you. Kudos to you to watching your first game tonight. And if it's not your first game, then I'll tell you what. I want you to be around me when things are going bad, because I'll tell you right now, if I went in there and I treated my wife the way the Reds have treated me, she'd have done left a long time ago. And I treat her, I think, not as well as I should. So I'm trying to calm down. But I got news for you. Eugenio Suarez went 1 for 97 in a single season for the Reds. He made 37 errors at shortstop. I watched Kevin Newman play for this team last year, and when I tell you he wasn't as bad as Santiago Espinal, but he wasn't fun to watch. And I got to calm down because I watched those two guys actually play well against my favorite team, and they lost 7 in a row. Telling me that the season's young. Steer's going to hit. Candelario's going to hit. You sound like the casinos when they're telling you, or Vegas when they tell you that everything in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's a little bit of a lie, okay? It's a lie. A little bit of a ploy. It's like it's kind of like the Ohio lottery. They try to run around all the people that win. You do realize that most people lose. Same with the casinos. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in Ohio. All right. I was just trying to have some fun there. Base running. I guess that was part of the deal with I don't know. Were we going to try to discuss whether or not Fairchild should have gone a second? Because we did that. But I guess you want to talk about Ellie or what else?
Maley did have a pretty bad read. I mean, I'm not going to kill him. I mean, it was a tough luck ball hit by India. Their right fielder, Pavin Smith, I think did a pretty good job deking him. I think more outfielders should do stuff like that. And, the ball was right in front of him. Maley got thrown out. And that was just another, salt in the wound in this game. So,
yeah, it was.
That was part of it.
It was. There's a lot of salt in the wounds in this game because this is a game they should have won. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, Nick. I can't. I feel like I genuinely, my brain is broken with this baseball team. There's nights like tonight where I would have loved to be proud about the way that they battled at the plate, the way that they looked at the plate, all of those things. But I also am looking and they lost again, 7 in a row. Some point, are we in last place yet? I hate to look, but
I think the Cardinals still holding that fort down. No, I mean a game like this, if this is in the middle of a normal stretch of baseball, you go, hey, this was a nice effort tonight, just didn't work out. It's really easy to shake a game like this off if you're playing even 500 baseball in the month. You're oh, no big deal. It is what it is. It's baseball. It's a long season. It's just when it's lost number 7 in a row,
right? It
really, really hurts.
Yeah, they're a game out of they're a game away from being in last, obviously, and luckily the Cardinals got postponed.
Right now, yeah.
I don't know. Let's get into some I guess semi-positive things. Ashcraft, Cruz, Sims not so positive. Ashcraft threw the ball well again. These starters are doing more than they need. They're fine. I don't know how else to say it. That's what gives me some hope. I don't know. If you were going to tie yourself to something to say, you know what, this is why you keep watching, because this is the only chance this gives them a chance to turn it around. It is their starting pitching. It genuinely is. I don't know if you have anything else to add about Ashcraft, but he's just a competitor. That's who he is.
Yeah, he fought through. I mean, obviously, it would have been nice. The only thing I would have really liked to see is just a shutdown inning after that first when they scored the run in the second. That's being really greedy, but
yeah, that's what you call
that would have been a huge lift.
That's what you call, and I agree with you. That's what you call though starting to treat the pitchers or the starting pitcher specifically. You're starting to look and treat the starting pitchers differently based off of the offensive production. Right?
You're begging.
You're begging. If Hunter Green goes out and he gives up 3 runs in 6 innings, right? People are going to crush him when they inevitably lose 4-1. It's dude, how about we just score 5 runs? I don't know if we know, but you can actually score. It's 6, 7, 8 runs in a game. You're allowed to do that. What do you say about Sims? Cruz, I'm glad Cruz came in and dominated the way that he has looked previously. He gave up a little cheap hit, okay? If someone wants to get on him about that cheap hit he gave up, kick rocks, okay? He came in the next inning, he shoved. I don't know what to say. I'll let you talk about Sims.
Yeah, Cruz was great. I mean, what a performance by him, especially, striking out the top of the order in the 7th. His stuff looked great. Yeah, I don't know. Sims, it's getting a little concerning. I mean, it's 11 innings. I don't want to go overboard on a guy that's been a good pitcher for most of his career. He's had some ups and downs. He didn't walk anyone tonight. That's been my bigger concern with him. His walks have been through the roof this year. But he hasn't been a guy that has gave up a lot of home runs. Last year he gave up only 0.74 home runs per 9 inning. That hasn't really been his problem the last really since he became a reliever. That was his problem as a starter, but ever since he's been a reliever, he's had really good home run per 9 numbers throughout his career. So he didn't walk anyone out. He did strike out 2. Again, I say a million times, I don't get too upset when a reliever comes in and gives a solo home run. I get more upset when they walk a guy. So I feel like it kind of would be a little disingenuous to be too hard on Sims, but he hasn't got the results at all this year.
No.
At the same time.
No, him and Pagan are kind of in the same boat, where you think in your mind that if you give them enough time, Nick, that it'll all kind of work itself out. They'll end up having probably some pretty decent numbers. But when you're going through a stretch like this, everything's magnified, man. It just is. I mean, I hate to say that, but unfortunately, over the next 2 or 3 days, if you don't have a relatively decent outing from a pitching perspective, you're going to get crushed. Like, this fan base is going to remember it much more than if you would have blown a lead or blown a save in the middle of July when this team was going 500. So we shall see. Kind of is what it is. All right, folks. As always, we have Game Time. They are a loyal, thankful sponsor of ours. Download the Game Time app. Use the code CINCY, CINCY. Get $20 off your first purchase. And shout out to them. And as always, there on the screen, 988. If you know, you know. And if you need it, use it. CES. I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm going to do, Nick. This is one thing that I am semi-serious about. I really dislike, and maybe it's just because you get in this Twitter vortex or X vortex, whatever you want to call that app now. It seems like we have, like, we always have to have, like, everybody's always got to have the got you moment, or everybody's got to be the, oh, look at me, I was so smart, or I was right. And it goes back and forth. And listen, more times than not, maybe one side's right. More times than not, maybe one side's wrong. I'm not here to debate or defend one side versus the other, but I'll just say, like, it does seem wild. It just does seem wild to me that he's actually hurt in the manner in which now they're saying he's hurt. I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, Nick, but I don't know if I believe him. Like, not that there wasn't a previous fracture, but now they're acting like there's something different there to where now he has to go on the IL, and maybe that's why he was struggling in the first place. I don't. Again, people might think I'm crazy for saying this. Oh, the Reds wouldn't do this, that, and the other. They're like, I'm not saying that they're putting him on the IL on purpose because they have a semblance of a reason or an excuse to do it, and the way that he's performed is giving them an opportunity to do it. A la Graham Ashcraft last year when he was throwing the ball unbelievably poorly. And the next thing you know, he had an injury. He took some time off, got a rehab start or two in, came back, and was great. I want to believe that more than I want to believe that this training staff just dropped the ball. I don't know which side you're on or what you believe or what you think should happen, but I'm going to venture to believe that the Reds are smarter than what they're saying actually happened, and this guy's had a broken hand or whatever it was, wrist, for what has it been, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to question doctors on the way that they said they thought what it was. I mean, I would say like a wrist injury, I think people always expect a perfect answer to everything. Like, it is for sure 100% fractured right there. I mean, I think there's a little bit of you don't know exactly everything until it kind of heals and stuff like that. I don't know. I think people playing doctors on Twitter's a little wild to me, but to each their own. The Reds have been pretty cautious though with these types of things. Like, the Reds don't let players come in sick. So I feel like if the Reds had any, like, I feel like the Reds would have been more conservative in the way they approach this. Like, so if they were told, well, we only think that there's a 30% chance that he's re-injure it, I feel like the Reds would be like, let's be cautious, right? That's typically been the Reds' approach to most of these things. So I just have a hard time believing if they thought that there was any real risk of him injuring it worse, that they're going to run him back out there, because that's not the way the Reds have operated at all in recent memory. I think they've gotten criticized by a lot of people for being too conservative with these types of things. The one thing that I kind of took away from this is I was kind of like, well, it's almost kind of encouraging that there is some sort of injury with CES, because if it's just poor production, that's really concerning. And I'm not saying that like absolves all of the concerns with CES. I mean, his plate discipline, there's some real concerns with his approach at the plate, but at least you maybe can explain away some of why he's been as bad as he's been. Hopefully, you hope that it was this injury that he didn't even really know was there, that was a major impact on why he's been so bad this year.
I hope so. I'm not buying it. I hope you're right. I'm wishing you're right. I pray that you are correct in your assessment. I'm not buying it. I think that, like I said, I just stated what I thought. I really do believe that this guy's maybe had a previous injury that kind of healed up and everything's theoretically fine, and doctors think that he's okay, but maybe Nick Kroll and David Bell kind of went to the old medical staff and said, hey, here's the situation. Like, something's not right here. He's not playing well. He's chasing pitches all over the place. Don't you think it's the wrist? I think it's the wrist. All right, let's send him down. Going to take a little bit of a break, get him acclimated. Let's give ourselves another roster spot. Let's be able to play, with more men on the roster than not. When we actually enter a Major League Baseball game, we get a full-fledged roster, and we'll go from there. I hope you're right, because if you're right, it makes it seem as if the production might have fallen off because of an injury. I think the guy's just chasing pitches left and right. He's in his head, and, a la Will Benson last year to start the year off. So we shall find out what ultimately comes of it. Right before we go to Reds MILB, there's probably bigger news than just like a traditional Reds MILB. Rhett Lauder, he gets promoted. Listen, Rhett Lauder was dominating. I don't know. I can't believe he started in single A, to be honest. But having said that, maybe they wanted to get his feet wet, make sure that he was in a position to be successful at the beginning of his career. They didn't want to have to be regressive, similar to like Jackson Holiday, perhaps, where you send a kid up and he goes 1 for 20, and now you send him down, and now there's these weird vibes about it. So maybe you didn't want to start him in Triple-A or Double-A. Double-A, I think, was more appropriate, but I even thought there was a chance he'd start in Triple-A. But anyways, he's getting promoted. Anything that you want to add on Rhett Lauder?
Real quick before we get to that, I did want to make one quick comment. I do think Mike Ford in the short term is probably is going to actually improve the Reds than what CES was giving you. Long term though, CES was your power hitter. This was the only guy that was projected to hit above 25 home runs this year for the Reds. He was your one big power bat. Ford has some power, but it's nowhere near what CES is. So CES being out is a huge void for this team, but he had been a void at this point. So it's kind of one of those things where it's not going to hurt you right now, but I think that it's something that might catch up with you as the season goes on. On Rhett Lauder, I think the Reds probably started him at Dayton, maybe more so just because of like how well run Dayton is. Like Dayton is like their premier minor league organization by far. Like it's better than Louisville. I mean, I think anyone that's been around the Dayton Dragons knows it's very well run. So it's a really good spot to put a guy like Rhett Lauder to get his feet wet and all those type of things. Whereas Chattanooga maybe doesn't have the same reputation. So, you started there. I think that might have as much to do with it as anything else, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah. I don't expect he'll stay at Double-A all that long. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets to Triple-A before the end of the year. I would be shocked if there's an opportunity if he gets on the big league roster at some point this year. A lot of it's going to depend how does he adjust to Double-A, but we'll have to see. I mean, I expect he'll do well. I don't think he's going to have some crazy learning curve, but you never know with these guys until you actually see them out on the field.
And that's the best point you just made right there at the end. I think you don't know until you know, and I would also say that about CES. We can adjust and assume, and we all were excited about CES, and I was right there in that bandwagon. But at the same time, we all have to realize and take a step back and look ourselves in the mirror and actually say, CES really hasn't done a lot to make you think that he's 100% a big league player. And that sounds, again, not trying to sound the alarm and not trying to be negative or say anything, disrespectful towards CES, but, at some point as an organization, if we're going to say our goal is to win the NL Central, then there has to be expectations that you must live up to be able to continue to have your job at the big league level. And they're going to give some leash or some rope to some guys, obviously like CES. And I'm sure if Marte was here or McLean was here, they were going to give them extended time. But there becomes a line in the sand at some point here. If this Reds club is to be competitive, or what we as fans and what their organization you would like to think would want them to be, you can't just keep running a guy out there that is a below average hitter playing a premium position that should provide some power, period. And that's what we've gotten all year long from that position. And, I don't know if we want to bring up the last thing before we get to Reds MILB, but tonight's another night where we failed defensively, period. And it's, say it's one play all you want or whatever, but Candelario, misses a ball. Yeah. I mean, it's just this team doesn't do anything great, and that's unfortunate.
And Ashcraft didn't cover a base. He thought the ball was going to get passed over Candelario's head. We did have a ton of super chats. Do you want to get to those before we get to Reds MILB?
Yeah, we can do that. All right, let's run through them all again. I'm going to do all in Christ. You get a shout out again. He said, "Here we go. We went, baby. We went. We didn't go where we wanted to go, but we went." Leave it at the table. Said question. Does Will Benson have any options? Not saying there's anybody down there who can play better. I'm just thinking that it worked last year. It's not a bad thought. It's not a horrible thought. It's just that I think you said it yourself. I don't know if you want to add anything to this, Nick. It's like you got to have a replacement, and the replacement's got to be somebody that you trust enough to at least provide. I don't even want to say the same production because it's been so bad. So maybe I talked myself out of that point. I don't know. At some point, though, Will Benson, he got off to a great start, and he's already found himself now to have, what is he, this year he's, got an 87 OPS plus, which isn't horrific, but I'd be curious to see what that was the last 30 days. Batting average now, which, again, batting average isn't everything, but he's down to 190. His on base is 273, which is something that's probably the most disappointing, is because I thought Will Benson actually had productive at bats and he would work walks, and that's not carried over. It's not translated this last month. So, anything to add to that?
OPS plus against right-handed pitching is 101. So he hasn't been as bad against right-handed pitching. He has 3 home runs against right-handed pitching and 85 at bats. You need that power bat. He's just played too much against lefties. I think that's the biggest issue. But he does still have 2 options left, but I don't think there's anyone that gives you what Will Benson, gives you the chance of getting. But Will Benson clearly was a guy that it was all the mental side. So if there's one guy that going down to Triple-A and fixing could work, Will Benson's definitely proven that that's a potential. I don't think that you're there yet. I want to see him now that I think he's in a role where he's mostly only going to be playing against right-handed pitchers.
Right.
Let's see if he can get more comfortable and be in his role.
I hope so. Obviously tonight he was not in that position, but we shall see moving forward. Michael Rolfe says, "I love this chat. Big things coming." Michael Rolfe's the man. He's got like 3 or 4 more supers. This dude, he just leaves it out there. Leave it at the table again. Says that poor basketball goal is just rotten to the wall, Trace. It's back there, man. I think. I don't even know where the basketball is, if we're being honest. That thing's probably it needs to get inflated. Probably somewhere around here, just flat as can be. All right, Michael Rolfe says, "Spam the likes plus spam the chat, spam the super chats plus meat equals a Reds win." I'm desperate for a dunk. The haters of the long intro equal not Reds fans. Michael then says, "Remember that," he's talking about, obviously we all know who he's talking about, Mr. Gastritis himself, Kevin Newman. "Remember when Poop Man was a thing last year? It culminated with him catching a poop up with his teeth, not his glove. Last year at first base. Suarez made a career play tonight. Career. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the ball just found his glove. He dove out there. This is the best super chat of the night. Leave it at the table. He says, Gino was
How do you read that?
Leave it at the table says Gino was fat and couldn't catch herpes in Vegas when he was a Red. Now he makes diving plays and steals bases. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's something else, man. Michael Rolfe says the Celtics will blow it. I'm sure he's talking to that Celtics fan. He said, I'll bet every dollar I have, which seems like a lot of dollars, so you better be careful, Celtics fan. Big Red Machine, boy, could we use them. He says the Reds are improving and will be back to winning. The entire division lost today. We're just 5 games back, just like the plate ump's great-grandchildren. It will all be okay. Did he get hit in the great-grandchildren? I thought he got hit like the maybe he did. I don't know. I know one thing. He got advice from the training staff, which might be a bad thing. Michael Rolfe says, some people in this chat take this way too seriously. Some people in this chat take this way seriously. Trace, dunk a basketball tonight. You escaped a tornado last night. Do it to turn the tides. Yeah. That's what he said. Leave it at the table. What a super chat that was. We might do that. The super chat of the night at the end. Like you get it like a star. It'd be like Jim Day interviewing somebody at the end. We're gonna make that. Michael Rolfe says, are super chats tax write-offs? Asking for a friend. They are, yeah. You can write them off. And then Joey the Delusional Red fan said, win steak in June. I don't know, man. All right, guys. Thank you for your supers. You guys make this worth it every night. 235, 239, 240 people. 1,000 people have joined already tonight. I don't know why. Thank you, because we signed up to do this, and let me tell you, it is not easy. This is hard. This isn't easy. Not easy. Michael Krause says, shout out to Trace and Kirby for grinding. $20 super chat, man. You guys are so nice to us. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, Mike. We're grinding, man. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to make you guys. Here's the hardest part about this, Nick. Before you do Reds MILB, because I know you're gonna cut this up, and I want to kind of put this in here for the chat themselves. We want to make this entertaining, right? But we also want to make it insightful. We want to make sure we don't overreact. We want to be honest. We want to tell the truth. We don't want to say things that genuinely we don't mean. We don't want to try to put on bits, this, that, and the next. Yeah, there's times where I try to be entertaining. But when I tell you that it is incredible that there's this many people that want to just commiserate together and at least have some semblance of a reasonable discussion about what the hell's going on right now, it is actually refreshing. It is nice. You guys, yeah, we can argue in the chat a little bit. Of course, we're all going to be pissed off about the Reds losing in some capacity, but I want us all to know one thing. I'm telling you this straight from the heart. We can blame David Bell. If you want to be upset at Nick Krall because of the situation that's going on, be upset at him. But I'll just tell you, I don't know how good of a team we have, and then on top of that, this team's not playing up to their capability. So when you add those two things together, you get what we get now. You know, when you're a below average team as is, and you play poorly, it's going to look horrific. This team isn't this bad, though. We all know that. This team is not this bad. We just need to find a way to win a baseball game and make sure that we remember how to win. And when that happens, hopefully it's tomorrow. But when and if that happens, then, we'll figure it out. We'll find a way. All right. One last super. Stephen G just retracted his message. He typed something so disgustingly hateful that he just was like, I can't do it. Took it back. Steven, if you didn't mean to do that, just punch it in the chat. I'll read it for you. All right. Nick, anything you want to add?
No, good stuff. Thank you. Thanks to everyone for watching, grinding out with us. Good days are coming. They can't be this bad forever.
No.
Yeah, just it's a tough stretch. It's a tough stretch, but hopefully it bounces back the other way tenfold, because that would be fun.
It's so tough. Nick tries to be positive because I think it makes him process what's happening better, right? Like, some people just want to get mad and yell, and it makes them feel better, and that's the way that we all cope. I think it's a coping mechanism of all things. We can all cope together because we've been coping for a long time. Like, this isn't. If anything, I would say Reds fans are built for this. We've been built for this, you know. One day we'll have nice things. I don't know when, but point. Reds MILB, Nick.
All right, let's get to it. All right, we'll start out with Triple-A. The Louisville Bats, they won 4-3. Austin Wins hit a go-ahead RBI double in the 8th inning. Bats improved to 18-17 on the season. Not a lot from the offensive players, at least the ones we're tracking. Blake Dunn was 0 for 3, did drive in a run. Reese Hines 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Connor Phillips, another tough start for him. Just went 4 1/3, walked 5 batters, gave up 3 earned runs. Phillips now has an 8.28 ERA in 7 starts. He's walked 23 batters in 29 1/3 innings pitched. Bullpen, though, was much better. Alex Young looked really good today, threw a scoreless inning, struck out 2. Casey Legumina, how about this? He retired all 5 batters he faced, struck out 2. Tony Santillan, another scoreless inning as well. Chattanooga, they swept a doubleheader today. They won game 1 6-2, and they won game 2 5-4 in 8 innings. They play 7-inning doubleheaders, so that was the 8th inning is the 10th inning. Lookouts, they improved to 10-19 on the season as they've won 3 in a row. But in game 1, Chase Petty, really strong outing. 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, just walked 1 batter, struck out 6. After a kind of a tough start to the season, Petty's got a 1.80 ERA in 2 starts in May. Zach Maxwell, he came in with the bases loaded, struck out the only batter he faced. They only had him face 1 batter in this one in game number 2. But Maxwell has not allowed an earned run in 11 appearances this season, 23 strikeouts in 11 2/3 innings pitched. Really good day for Tyler Callahan, guy that has really struggled this year, but looks like he's coming around a little bit. 4 for 8 in the 2 games combined, hit a home run, drove in 2, and stole a base. Alan Cerda, he was on base 4 times between the 2 games. Down to High A, the Dayton Dragons, they lost 8-1 to Lake County. I was in attendance for this one earlier today. The Dragons, they only had 4 hits in their loss. So, yeah, I saw another bad offensive game. They didn't put Cam Collier or Jay Allen in the lineup. I mean, it's just par for the course right now. Rain's in the forecast tomorrow up here, so I may not even get to go to another one this week. But the Dragons, they're struggling a little bit. They're 12-17. I'll give you just a couple observations from the game. Sal Stewart, he was 0 for 4, but he had 2 really hard hit balls. Also made an incredible play at third base. He's been playing mostly second base, but he was playing third base because Cam Collier was getting a day off. Collier was fine. He was out tossing between innings and all that kind of stuff. Just a day off for him. But he made an incredible play on a bunt attempt. Threw out a runner at first base. Looked really good. Moves really well. So really liked what I saw out of Sal Stewart. Leo Balcazar had a nice day. He was on base 3 times. There wasn't a whole lot of that. Victor Acosta, he turned a strikeout into getting on second base. So that was cool to see. He's pretty fast, but not a whole lot other than that. And then Low A just went final. Lakeland beat Daytona 14-7. The Tortugas gave up 10 runs in the final 2 innings in this one. But a good day from Alfredo Duno. He was 3 for 5 with a double. Ricardo Cabrera, maybe starting to turn it around a little bit, 2 for 4 with a double. One downer, Adam Serwinski, who's been incredible so far this year. Only got 1 batter out in this one. Really struggled with his command, walked 4 batters. So first tough outing really in his professional career, at least professional career that we kind of get to see at the outside of like the Arizona complex. So that's your Reds MILB.
That it is. Listen, the Redlegs, they're in much need of a win, but I just want to let everybody know that, when you think things are going bad, right, just envision having to be a Rockies fan. I mean, I'm looking at this Rockies team. My God. I mean, I'll be honest. There's being a Reds fan's tough, but there's some other franchises I'm looking here. You don't want to be a fan of them. You don't want to be a fan of them. Shout out to the A's, by the way. Give them some credit on this show. 6-4 in their last 10. finding ways to score like 8, 9 runs a night. Kudos to them. So maybe it is just a blimp on the radar, you know? It's times like that, you got to find ways to be like, you know what? Look at it. Look how bad some of these teams are that are actually playing well right now. It'll all even itself out at the end. That's what the Celtics guy was trying to explain to me. I just didn't like the way he came at me about it, you know? Telling me to calm down. Like, I'm calm down. 7. We've lost 7 in a row, man. What am I supposed to... If now is not the time to panic, when is? All right. Who, what, when, where, and why, Nick? Who, what, when, where, and why?
Now we got a 110 game on Bally, also on MLB Network. If you're out of town, Hunter Green, he's looked really good his last couple times out. Hopefully he can be the stopper. Reds going up against Slade Ciccone. He's got an ERA that's a little higher. I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything.
Don't even say it.
It's just please get a win. That's all I got.
Yeah, at this point. I forgot I was watching FS1. And I look over and there's a diamond. Christian Walker's getting he's getting interviewed, and I'm like, damn, it's getting so bad down there that Bally Sports Jim Day just turned in his microphone and they're just interviewing players from the opposing team. But all right, chat. You know what time it is. It's time to go. And I know some of you want me to dunk a basketball. We just can't do that, you know? We have integrity, we have morals, we have reasons as to why we got to do certain things. Things got to stay special. And we just can't do it. We cannot do it. That's why they mean something when they actually happen. It's a tough stretch. By tough stretch, I mean maybe the worst stretch that we've had to experience since we got excited about this bunch that's come up. But Nick's tried to warn you. This is a young team, and hopefully at some point these growing pains won't be so painful. But Tell you what, I'm going to make you guys a deal. Where are we at right now? We have 117 likes. If I look back at this stream, by 10:30, we got like, 15, 20 minutes. And I see 150 likes, I'm putting $150 on the Reds to win tomorrow. 150 likes, I need them. I need them like I need air. Go Reds. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We love you. We're going to win tomorrow. I guarantee it. All right. Steven G comes in with a super chat down the middle of the intro. Middle of the outro. Super chat by Steven. Okay, listen, all right. I'm just going to make this readily known. If I miss a super chat because we're down towards the end of the show, I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm definitely not going to take the blame for it. All right? Steven G said it was retracted because I forgot to post the comment. Long-time watcher, first-time super chat. First-time super chat, and that's okay. If you're going to super chat for the first time, you do it on the outro. I'll stop it. We'll restart it. I'll stop it. We'll restart it. Steven G says retracted because I forgot to post a comment. Long-time watcher. Don't go anywhere here. Hold on now. First-time super chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Steven. Keep it up. Misery will make the good times better. Looking forward to a dunk and a Nick Cage pillow soon. Steven, you're right. You're right. I was thinking that the other day. The sun was shining, and I was thinking, you know what? If I didn't grow up, I was walking the country club at Muirfield Village, which is really prestigious and all that, and I thought, you know what? A blue-collar guy like me, a poor like me, shouldn't be walking this. Shouldn't be here. But I love this more than everybody else. All those rich kids over there, they'll never enjoy it as much as me. Why? Because I've been through hell. And so have you because you're a Reds fan. Go Reds. We'll see you tomorrow.